Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. Susan Myers of the 131st, here in support of HB 3070. So I cut my 2A advocacy teeth on SAPA. My first time ever speaking publicly was at a House hearing in support of SAPA back in 2020, just before COVID hit. And my second time was in early 21, again in the House and in support of SAPA, which ultimately became law during that session. I closed that testimony with the following. Hearing law enforcement say they'll always support the law-abiding's 2A rights, but is no longer a comfort. With the current state of the nation, the time has come for Missourians to add more than assurances to our toolbox. Tools in law enforcement's toolbox are generally speaking to be supported, but when that tool is in actuality an infringement upon a citizen's right, then I do have a problem with it, and you should too. As an example of assurances without penalty deterrence, how many times in states that were working to enact red flag laws did sheriffs from across that state come out publicly and assure or vow to their residents that they would never use or enforce them? Or the counties, cities, and towns that went so far as to declare themselves in writing to be Second Amendment sanctuaries, only later to find many were in fact using them, and when asked about it, would respond with something to the effect of, "We have to use the tools that are available to us." All those full-throated assurances from law enforcement to the people proved to be worthless in the end, even the ones in writing. I would also remind everyone that before permitless carry became law in Missouri, many in law enforcement looked upon that idea as having another of one of their tools infringing on our rights removed. SAPA was to serve as a show me you have my back answer from the Missouri legislature to the people of this state, a tool for our toolbox that was enacted with full fanfare and enthusiasm by the majority party. Failing to do so again in a way that appeases the court, yet keeps the 10th Amendment usage aspect and its teeth, will be looked upon as nothing less than a sad, weak abandonment of all those truly grassroots people who worked so hard and for so many years to see SAPA become law. And please, don't bother passing anything that doesn't have anti-commandeering language or strong deterrence included, because that's not SAPA. And I prefer not to have the little bit of 2A gumption that the House manages to muster used up on something that's designed not to deliver. So maybe just repeal some gun-free zones instead. Thank you.